Hey, welcome. Well, it's time to service the Prius again. 130,000 miles. I've had the Prius ever since it had 22,000 miles on it. And I thought I'd just go over the whole service that I do on it. I've serviced it every 5,000 miles since I've owned it myself. I prefer to do it that way because I know it's done. And it saves you some money too. Okay. Turn it on here. Notice the yellow maintenance lights on, and you notice there I almost got 130, cut it close. Okay, let's get to it. I got this time 130,000. Cabin filter needs to be changed again, cabin filter, and the engine air filter. I always put some injector cleaner in. Don't know if that works good or not, but I always have. Couldn't hurt. And I like Fram. I've tried different oil filters, but the Fram's just easier to get on and off. pH 4967 for a generation 2. And fully synthetic 5W30. I had oil left over, can's a little dirty from the last time, so I didn't have to buy no oil this time. And some lubrication for different things, the doors, and first one thing, another. Okay. And there's my 2005 Prius. Still looks pretty good. A lot of them on the Prius Club say that they've had Priuses to use oil, but here's the oil stick. I have never had to add any oil or use any oil, changing it every 5,000 miles. And of course at 100,000 I changed the coolant, which is in this one. Of course, you know, on a service you want to check all that. And I also changed the brake fluid at 100,000. Looks like I could use a little bit of windshield wash. I'm going to do the oil change first, get the dirty stuff out of the way first. Okay. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on just the changing the oil because it's pretty straightforward. You know, there's the oil plug, there's the filter, easy to get to. But I always check all the boots, lubricate them with some lubrication, and look at everything else. Look at my tar tread. Now normally you rotate the tars, but I've been trying something different here. I just been watching the tars. When the front ones get worn, I just get me 2 tars and replace them. Back ones get worn, replace them, rather than straining myself. You know, trying to. Now some people probably don't agree with that. It says to rotate them and all that, but when you get over 70 years old, I don't know whether it's necessary or not. I just change the 2 tars when they get worn. Order you 2 tars off of eBay or the internet or somewhere or another, and carry them and have them put on, and save all that trouble. But that's just me. Got the oil running out. Got the oil filter loosened up. It's best just to tighten those oil filters hand tight, maybe about 3 snugs. If you tighten them in any tighter than that, it just makes them really hard to get off. You always check to make sure it's not leaking anyway. This is kind of what the motor looks like when it's got 130,000 on it. I remember when I first got it, it was all shiny and new under here. There, I got the oil filter off. I always take my rag and clean that real good. In fact, I wipe all this off before I get through. Well, there's the oil filter off. Still a little oil dripping out. I generally clean that with a rag real good before I quit. In fact, I wipe all this down. There's my new oil filter. Put a little oil on the gasket there. Helps it seal. Just take my finger, rub a little oil out of the oil. You got the oil plug in, new filter on. Like I said, just about 3 snugs with your hand on that. It's good enough. But if you put the wrench on there, just kind of snug it. Don't tighten it tight. Got the oil plug on there. I've never had to replace it doing the oil myself, because I always just give it 3 snugs. You carry it to an oil changing place and they strip them out. Okay, now I'm going to get the lubricant can and lubricate all these rubber seals, all of them I can see. And like I said, I checked my tires. I hadn't put these on there long, so these front ones are good. I'll have to check the back ones, because like I said, I changed the front ones and just left the back ones. I didn't rotate them. I take and lubricate every joint that I can see, every rusty spot, every boot. I know other people may not do that, but it seems to keep all the rubber things lubricated. Can't hurt under here anyway. And I just use some spray lubricant, because you can reach up in there and spray it. And you can see there how I sprayed all the boots and all. Anything that's rusty looking. Just my thing. There's the old oil and filter. That's all you need to change it there. And it's a 14mm socket. All right, let's put some oil in. Cap off here. I always stick this cap right here where the hood latch is, because there was one time I forgot to put this on, and then of course oil splattered out here and smelled really bad until I figured it out. And I didn't lose it. It happened to still be laying there on the motor, and I probably drove it 20 miles. This is fully synthetic. That's what I've been putting in it ever since I got the car. 5W30. Check it there and see. This can of oil was left over from the last oil change. Just another quart. finish off this one. Okay, see how that does. When you're changing the oil here, always look at everything. And if you could see that, it probably likes about a half a quart being to the full mark. Double check it. Yeah, that would be fine, but I'm going to go ahead and put just a little more in it. It's always best not to overfill. That's worse than not putting enough. See what that does for it. That's good. Looks about a quarter of an inch from the top marker. That should be fine. Of course, the car is jacked up, so it's setting up just a little bit. I'll put just a little bit more just because of that. Right at the top mark. Yeah. Just right at the top mark. That's good. I have wiped everything off. I don't generally have to wash the motor in this Prius, because every time I change the oil, I just kind of keep everything wiped off. Remember to put this back on. Your oil cap. It tells you what kind of oil to use on the cap. 5W30. Everything at 100,000. I changed the brake shoes on the front. I changed the battery coolant, all the coolant, and changed the brake fluid, and everything at 100,000. I made a videotape on that, but I had a corrupt file, and so I lost most of it, and that was one I really wanted to have to show y'all. I changed the PC valve. I think I've got that part of it. Okay, now let's see here. Let's just go ahead and do the air filter here. Thought these wouldn't even snap down. That's odd. I guess I done that. See, it's not dirty. It is not dirty. That's as clean as if it was a brand new one. But it says to change it, so I guess I'll go ahead and change it. But it's not dirty at all. Of course, I keep the car inside, and I don't drive on any dirt roads or anything. But I'm going to change it anyway because it's scheduled that way. Keep it on track. There's the new one. Not much difference in them, are they? Wipe all this out since it's off. Wipe all this off. I'm going to go ahead and clean the throttle body again. It's probably been about 50,000 miles or something on here. There's just two 10mm right up here that hold that down. And there's your throttle body right there. See, and it looks clean. It looks clean, but I'm just going to go ahead and shoot it anyway. In fact, it probably wouldn't be bad to clean your throttle body every time you change the filter. It's not that big a deal to do. I'll find my throttle body cleaner here. Since this one's no dirtier than it is, I can just spray some cleaner in it. I've got a video before where I cleaned this, and I get down in there and clean it with a stick, with a piece of cloth on it. Actually, it's not even that dirty this time. Okay. Put this dude back on there. There's a hose comes off over here on the end, and then those two 10mm bolts up here and here. Put that hose back on. Get these two bolts here. Go in here. Tighten them back up. Oh, I got these filters off of eBay. Both of them. Both filters came together for $15 shipping and all. So, you know, if you go to the parts store, they can want $40-something plus tax for them. Get those back on there. Okay, tighten up these two 10 millimeters back here at the back. Oh, well, I'm thinking about when you order something from eBay, I'd stay away from something that came from China unless it was real cheap and you didn't care, because I ordered a radio from China and I still ain't got my money back from here. And there's been a lot of places now on eBay, they'll have an American address, but it's actually coming from China. You have to kind of look at and see when it's supposed to arrive, and if it's over a week, it may be something coming from China, and you can't, that's fine, but sometimes you can't get your money back. Or if you do, it's really hard. Put this cover on there. eBay's real good. Just be leery of things from China and Hong Kong and Taiwan. It can turn out all right, but it can turn out bad too. Okay, we got that on there. Okay, what's next? We got the cabin filter to change. And let's just look at the schedule. I printed me a schedule off the internet. I know you could write in your manual in your car, but I kind of like to keep it separate. That way I can make notes and all on it. But replace the engine oil filter, rotate the tires. Of course, I told you what I was going to do with the tires. I'm just going to change the front ones or the back ones, whenever they wear out. Replace the cabin filter, replace the engine oil filter, and just inspect everything else, which mainly just looks at it, touch it, shake it. But this is a Generation 2. Of course, I had to change it here and made it 130K. You know. I'm going to start the car and check for leaks. No leaks. Sounds all right. Let it run just for a little bit there. Spray the hinges a little bit. guess next I'm gonna check the air pressure in the tires. I think they're about 32, maybe about 33, 35 in the front, and about 32, 33 in the back. Got me a new air gauge, about wore the other one out. Looks like 33. That's fine. Tires look good. I'm gonna go ahead and check the others. I'll let you rest there. I won't make you watch through all that. While I was checking the tires, I just sprayed all of this down with WD-40 or the wall mount version, Super Tech, and I took the cap off the engine coolant, which is right down in here, and it was a little low. Now it uses the same coolant as the battery coolant. I don't have any hit, but you can put distilled water in there if you just need a little bit. Distilled water. I'll have to get me a gallon. To keep it topped off. Never had to put any in there, but I really think nothing about it. I think they filled it up. Kind of hard to see. It's got a plastic container here. It says coolant on it. I have to get me a gallon of coolant. Looks like it needs a little more. I'll have to go get another gallon of distilled water. Okay, filled it up. Looked like I might have put about a pint in it total. Seemed like best I can remember. I didn't hardly have enough using 2 gallons to fill it up when I changed it, and I had to finish it off with a little bit of distilled water then too. And I may have forgot to fill this up. I don't know. Too long ago. Anyway, got that. Now going back to checking the air in the tires. Okay, I finished checking the tires. They were a little bit low. It's cold weather. It has been for a while. But I put 33 in the back, 35 in the front. And checking the back tires for tread. They still look good. So, guess they're all right for another 5,000 miles. every time I change the oil and service it every 5,000, I put some of this fuel injector cleaner from Walmart in it. It's not very expensive. I don't know what helps or not, but I figure it couldn't hurt to keep the injectors clean. You just pour a bottle in your gas tank. These gas caps need to be changed about once every 100,000 miles. I've already changed it once. We'll have a look at it here. The maintenance doesn't say anything about putting any injector cleaner in, but naturally they wouldn't, because they want you to tear it up, so they'll have to charge you a big fee. Gasket looks all right on that. It's pliable and all. If I drive it to 200,000, I'll put another one on there. And of course, most everybody knows nowadays you have to click this thing 3 or 4 times, or you'll get sometimes you can get a warning light. Okay. Another thing I do that probably nobody else does, but I take this lubricant and I spray all the door hinges, door locks, every time I change the oil. It's easy, it's not messy. I get the hinges inside, and then I get in the lock. We used to put grease in them, but if you'll do this every time you change the oil, I think you're fine. The hinges, everything, anything that moves. And of course you saw me do the hood, and I'll do the trunk hinges and the other side of the car, and be right back. Okay, I got the door hinges all lubricated and the trunk lid, the latch, and the shocks on it. Now let's see if I can remember how to change this filter. See, I think you push in on these sides, I believe, and then there's a little rubber hickey down here that has to come off, and it just falls out. Okay, and up in here, let you look up in here, you see how it looks under there. If I can get it down here, you see there's a little cover here that snaps, and you can get to your filter. I may have to set you up a minute until I can find the little clip that holds it. I can't see from my angle. Right there, you just, on the left there, you just push it, and then it just pulls out. It's a little dirty. It's a little dirty. But that's all there are to that. Set you back up here and get the new filter. Pushes under some little clips here. A little dirty, but like I said, I change it by the schedule. This is a charcoal one here. Yeah, I paid a couple more bucks for head, but Like I said, I only get about $15 for both of them, shipping and all. And just goes down under them clips. That's all there are to that. And then it just slips back in that slot. Push it in there till it's all the way up in there. Looks like my glove compartment box could use a little cleaning out. I'll take it around and take the air hose and blow it out. Be right back. Blowed it out. That looks a lot better. This piece has been in the car ever since I bought it, and I don't even know what it's for. But I've kept it because I may find out. And there's a little extra fuse there for my Garmin's navigator. Sometimes they blow out. So this goes right in there in reverse. You just put it back in here. Down at the bottom there's a little hinge that it falls in. And then the main thing is just getting this little rubber holder back. And squeeze the top in so it latches back into it. So it stops. And then put all your junk back in it. Manuals. Go back there in the back. And then my warranty on my tires and battery. My insurance cards, tag. My wife keeps Kleenexes in here because there's really no place for Kleenexes. And our snacks. All the junk. And that's that. Didn't take very long. If I hadn't had to blow it out, it probably didn't take over 3 or 4 minutes. Another thing I like to do, I like to take some of this heavy-duty silicone and let all the windows down and spray the channel. I'd say about every 100,000 miles. Probably keep your windows from tearing, your power windows from tearing up. That was a tip I got from the Toyota dealership. They're the ones that told me to do that. Well, let me go around and do the other windows. Okay, we're in the car. We're going to, in your manual, on page 122, it tells you how to reset your maintenance light on the dash. And it says, press the power switch to the off mode. Press the power switch twice to select the ignition on mode. While holding down the trip meter, reset. hold down the button for at least 5 seconds and the ohm meter indicator will go to all zeros and the light goes off. Okay, we're off now. Let's see if you can see the dash. Maybe I need to adjust you a little bit here. Maybe you can see it, I'm not sure. Okay, it's off. Press the power button twice. 1, 2. Okay, and then while holding the trip meter to reset. Well, I might have been supposed to be holding the trip meter. Let me turn it back off and do it again. We'll hold the trip meter over here, hit it twice. No, that's not right. Cut it off again. Let me read it again. Power's off. Press the power switch twice to select the ignition on mode while holding down the trip meter reset button. Hold down the button for at least 5 seconds. Okay, hold the trip meter down, which I'm doing. 1, 2. It must have already done it, and I didn't see it. I was probably looking at the book. Hold the trip meter down, hit the button twice. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. I hope you got it. And now it went to all zeros. So, hope you got that. Anyway, go to page 122 if you got a Generation 2, the manual. A lot of wording there, but basically all it's meaning is start with the power off, and while you're holding the trip meter, hit the power button twice and hold it for 5 seconds. And quickly look up. I was looking down at the book, but look up and you'll see it count down and erase all the zeros. Okay, got that. Okay, I've started checking my high voltage drive battery cell voltage every time I change the oil. I'm using this OBD2 reader, Bluetooth. You know, that plugs in under your steering wheel where you check your codes and all. And then I've got on my phone, I keep this old phone here just for putting my I've got a fix that I had before I got this, but I'm using torque. You can see torque there. I just keep this phone here. It's an old phone just for checking stuff like that with it. I'm just checking there my Wi-Fi. Hope I may have to move the car to get my Wi-Fi to work. Make sure it's working. It should work. This connection's available. may have to wait and go in the garage. Well, it says connected. Okay. It's weak, but it is connected, I think. Let me go ahead and connect up my OBD. I'll have to get down here where I can see it. See it. That's it down there with the red light on next to my white shoe. Let's go back up here and see if I've still got if I've still got signal on my phone on the Wi-Fi. If I don't, no, I'm gonna have to go inside. I'm gonna have to move the car back into the garage to use it. Don't have a strong enough Wi-Fi signal here. Be right back. Okay, I got the car moved back in the garage where I'll be closer to the Wi-Fi. And you see here, I've got Torque that I downloaded off the internet. It, along with that OBD2 Bluetooth down there, will connect up. I also got Fix on here too, but I put this Torque on there so I could check the voltages. So we'll hit the Torque, and then here where these gauges are, we'll hit, and there is my voltages. Looks like they're all 17 plus. They're all about the same, and of course this was kind of from a cold start. And the auxiliary batteries on 14.2, and the high voltage fan is not running. As cold as it is, you know, it's probably cool enough. High voltage charge 24, and this delta, I forget right offhand what that is, but most time when these numbers are 17 plus, you're okay. Now see, the motor just cut off and the voltage is kind of changed. They went down to 16 plus. But they're all the same. The way I understand it, if you got one or two or some of them that's a lot lower than the rest, they're not the same, which that's not balanced, then there's something wrong with those that are lower. Of course, this voltage will go up and down depending on whether the motor's running or not. But that looks pretty good. This is the original battery. Now the motor just kicked back on. See, the voltage is going to go up, and they all went up equally. So I'd say the battery is good. And this is a 2005. That's the original battery. Hadn't been anything done to it. But I kind of like this to be able to check these voltages and record it, and that way maybe I can catch something, you know, before it becomes serious. Motor just cut off again, and they dropped back down to 16 something. So I'd say that was all right. Okay, I think this takes care of it for this service. 130,000 miles, and maybe this will help some of you out there. I wished I could have well, I did record the 100,000 mile with the coolant change and all that, but like I said, I had a corrupted file and lost the main parts of it. But please hit like and the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. It just, if you hit subscribe and hit the little bell next to it, you'll be notified when I have another video. And I do a lot of different things, you know. So if you do that for me, there's no skin off your back, but it makes my profile look better. If you like it, that shows that you're watching it. And if you got a question, I don't care to answer a question. And again, thanks for watching my channel.